So you can't not say that I don't give the people what they want. You've got an AEW video today and you've got a WWE video today. If you like both, watch both. If you like one or the other, watch one or the other. But do support the channel because I'm going to talk some positivity today because Payback was pretty good. Hello and welcome to FTTR. I am Hugh McQuaid and today we are talking about WWE Payback 2023. Last night's premium live event has gone down and I have some thoughts. But before diving into that, please hit subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below on Payback and let me know your thoughts. So Payback was a pretty middling show in terms of build. I wasn't too excited for this show. There wasn't anything on here that I thought was going to be mind-blowing. But I've got to say, this show over-delivered for me. I really enjoyed this show. It was a little bit too long, clocking in at about 3.5 hours. But overall, I thought this was a bloody good blast. So we're going to dive into the review where I talk about the angles, the matches, everything that happened on the show. Starting with the opening contest, which was Becky Lynch taking on Trish Stratus in a steel cage match, which is officially on my notes app match of the year contender list because I thought this was goddamn fantastic. My favourite match probably of the show. It's a toss up between two, but this was definitely top 2 matches of the night and one of my favourite matches of the year. I absolutely loved this. Everything that happened in it I just thought was so crisp and clean. It wasn't particularly botchy from what I noticed, and it was pretty brutal. It started off pretty brutal with Becky Lynch just slamming Trish Stratus. I found that really hard. Slamming Trish into every piece of the cage that she can, and it just sort of escalated from there with big move after big move, big counters. Let me grab my notes for a second. I really liked just the way they set this match out, in that it was a typical sort of just heel versus face match where the heel did get the upper hand and worked over, but I felt like it was worked at an urgent pace. It wasn't as sluggish as it could have been for a steel cage match. Like Trish bolts up the side of these cages and Becky bolts up the other side to bring her back down. I thought it was really fast paced and really enjoyable, and there was a great near fall from a Twist of Fate which paid homage to Lita, and then I can't remember if Trish hit the Widow's Peak first or if it was vice. I think Trish hit the Widow's Peak, an ode to Victoria, who had the first steel cage match with Lita, and yeah, it just went really cool, leading to a huge superplex spot from Becky to Trish, which looked nasty. It was like Trish's legs were on top of the cage and Becky was standing on the top rope, and they went full force down. Looked awfully nasty. And then of course I think we all knew this was coming, but it led to the door spot where Trish is going for the door, Becky's climbing the other side. Who should come down was Zoe Stark. Zoe Starks slams the door in the face of Becky Lynch, and then just as it looks like Becky's going to pick up the win after hitting a manhandle slam on Trish, Starks runs in the cage, breaks that up, helps Trish to her feet, and then you get this awesome shot of Becky Lynch standing by the cage door, sort of beckoning Zoe on as Zoe tries to make for the door. That just looked insane. It looked really cool. And then that led to the finish where it was a manhandle slam to Zoe Stark and then a top rope manhandle slam, which was teased earlier in the match, to Trish for the 1-2-3. Ending this feud, Becky can move on to other things, which we'll get to later on. But this was a fantastic match. I don't think I've done it justice in how I described it, but I really loved this match. I thought it was next level good. I really loved it. And then the angle afterwards topped it off as well, because you got Trish and Zoe having their breakdown in the middle of the ring when Trish slaps Zoe and Zoe goes to the door, looks like she's going to leave, but closes the door and hits I can never remember the name, I think B360, I could be wrong, Z360, something like that. Hits Trish with that, looked crisp, looked slicked, looked like she absolutely clocked her, takes off the Trish t-shirt, and yeah, we've apparently got maybe a Zoe Trish feud, or we've at least got Zoe going out on her own. Really good Really hot way to start the show, and yeah, probably is my favourite match of the night. Then we got John Cena coming out. John Cena making his glorious return to WWE. He's going to be here for a while. And it seems like we're getting his first feud potentially built here. No, I don't think so. This was just weird. He came out and did some goofy comedy with The Miz. Says he'll be the special guest referee of the LA Knight Miz match. Sure. Okay. I don't know why, but yeah. They had some nice, few cute bobs in there, but John Cena was sort of playing the idiot, and it was a bit weird. But the main star, say it with me, LA Knight. Yeah, because my God, is this man over? He was probably the most over man on the show, probably even more so than Cena. I like that they built up to his entrance. I would have liked to have seen LA Knight get on the mic a little bit and actually cut a promo against Cena or against Miz here in the ring, because it seemed weird that those two got to talk and LA Knight didn't. But my God, he got a monster pop. And they got a lot of time for this match, The Miz and LA Knight did. So it was very back and forth. Knight is just ridiculously over. While his moveset doesn't blow everyone away, it has enough theatre to get the crowd into it. And it was a bit back and forth. He got the upper hand. Then Miz got the upper hand. Miz got the upper hand with a really crisp-looking drop toe hold onto the announce table, which looked really cool. And yeah, it just built from there. Knight hits a diving clothesline from the barricade. And then you get the inevitable breakdown between both guys and John Cena, where they're getting in his face, nearly hitting John, nearly not. John doesn't get involved. He breaks up Miz, who was holding onto the ropes during a pinfall attempt. And a great near fall off skull-crushing finale. This was a night of good near falls. There are a lot of really good near falls on this show. So props to all the competitors who kicked out at 2.99. And yeah, eventually Knight just gets the upper hand, hits his LA Knight elbow drop. I don't know if that's got a name or not. Didn't sound like they said a name. And then hits the blunt force trauma for the win. Poses with Cena at the end. Continue the momentum for LA Knight going forward, put him in a world title program, by God, and let's do something with LA Knight. Please, he is so over, and Miz made him look impeccable in defeat. So yeah, really happy with this match, really good, not blow away. LA Knight's a star. Then we probably got the low light of the evening for me, and that was Rey Mysterio defending the United States Championship against Austin Theory. I didn't really think this was good. I've got nothing to say about this other than the fact that why wasn't this Gunther / Gable? Just take this off. This was nothing. This was TV main event, potentially TV mid-card filler, and I wasn't particularly here for it. Ray hit some cool moves. He hit the Penguin Slide DDT. He hit the 619. I genuinely can't remember much that happened in this match at all. And Austin Theory is not over as a heel. He's not over at all. Please, dear God, don't let this feud continue, because Ray got the win. And there was a stare down of him looking at the LWO celebrating with Ray, which makes me think it's going to continue. But my God, I've had enough of Austin Theory in the US title picture. Please make him do something else. Please. My God. This was fine. This was broadly fine, if not a little bit underwhelming. And it should have been Gunther versus Chad Gable. Then we got something very interesting, which was a backstage promo with Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton, where Stratton said, "I forgot you weren't NXT champion," and then sort of setting up a feud there, maybe Becky going to NXT to challenge Tiffany Stratton. I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool way to get Stratton over, and something new for Becky Lynch to do as well. So I'm here for that angle. The next match we got was Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens taking on the Judgment Day for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships in a big old Pittsburgh steel street fight. This was beautiful carnage, Attitude Era, just bursting through the seams, and this was really fun. This was a really fun, plunder-filled brawl that just got off to a hot start, brawling everywhere. Kevin Owens ripping his shirt off, seeing he's got a Terry Funk inspired shirt on, and yeah, they nail Finn Balor while he's got a trash can on his head, which is always beautiful, just laying in kendo stick strikes, which I think was spot on. And then it just escalates into brawling through the crowd. You get this really awesome bit where they brawl through the crowd. Judgment Day, Priest and Finn chuck Zayn and Owens over the barricade, and Dom Mysterio helps them because of course he does, the conniving little bastard. And yeah, they come up from behind this barricade. They're wearing, I'm assuming, Pittsburgh Steelers hockey jerseys with hockey sticks, and start laying into them. Kevin Owens is just bleeding profusely from his face. I don't know where he got busted open, but he is proper bleeding from his head. I don't know what happened. No idea. And they brawl onto the ramp, onto the stage, beat down Dominic Mysterio a bit more, which is always fun. And then he gets back to the ring, some brawl on the outside, leading to an all-timer. I think this is probably going to be an all-time spot of Kevin Owens hitting a nasty-looking swanton bomb through the table to Dominic Mysterio from like the entrance, not the entrance, what do you call it? The enclave, the concave, the entrance to the concourse, the arena concourse. He hit a huge swanton bomb through a table for that, and then just the numbers overwhelmed Sami and Kevin as they were trying, nearly getting the job done with multiple finishes just to be broke up. So Sami hits the haluva kick on Damian Priest. He's pulled out by none other than JD McDonough, who takes a nasty pop-up powerbomb onto the announce table. God, it looked awful. And yeah, looks like they're going to get the win again on Balor, but a beautiful finish to this match as Rhea Ripley spears Kevin Owens through the barricade. So he's out. Rhea's, celebrating, laughing it up. She's awesome. And then haluva kick from Sami to Finn. Dom runs in with the briefcase, clocks Sami in the back of the head, and Finn just rolls over, near enough unconscious. 1, 2, 3, and Judgment Day are the new tag team champions. I loved the finish. Really loved the finish. The shock in Finn's face when he's got the belts, and Priest just being dragged up from the side of the ring. I loved it. It was a great finish to the match, and I'm very excited to see where Judgment Day go from here. Now they've got near enough all the belts. There's just one that's eluded them, which is the world title, which I think is where we're going. I don't really want to see Seth and Judgment Day, though. I really don't want to see that. But we'll see. We shall see where this goes. But this was an awesome hardcore brawl. The sort of stuff you don't really see in WWE anymore. So it was a really nice throwback and my second favourite match of the night, I think. Then we got something that I don't think should have been on the show, which is the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes. They did a few nice bobs, a nice few jabs at each other. Cody, pointing out that talk shows always go the same way and let's subvert the expectations. I thought that was fun. And yeah, the reveal is that Cody's used his sway in WWE to draft Jey Uso to Raw. Why? Why would he do that? I don't understand why. So I haven't really I'm so out of the Bloodline stuff now. Like, I can't even describe how out of the Bloodline stuff I am. I just don't care. The only way I can see this sort of going is if Cody has a master plan of like getting all of Roman's adversaries and Avengers style thing, leading to a big sort of walkout at WrestleMania where Roman tries to cheat, and you get like McIntyre, Riddle, Zayn, Owens, and then finally Jey Uso coming down to stop him, like he's recruiting them all on side. But I don't understand why on earth Cody would do this, like, at all. I can't see. I think it's fully jumped the shark for me, this Bloodline story, and yeah, I'm sort of out, and it's going to take a lot for me to get back in. So I thought this was just bizarre and a bit pointless. Jey Uso superkick Grayson Waller. I think Grayson Waller's goddamn terrific. I think Grayson Waller is what people think, or like WWE higher ups think Austin Theory is, but he's not as charismatic. So yeah, He got a super kick for his troubles, and everyone was on their way. Fun enough. Then we got the match for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley defending the belt against Raquel Rodriguez, not Gonzalez. I nearly said that. This was okay. I don't think this was good. Do not get me wrong. This was a good match. But at the same time, this didn't really cement Rhea Ripley's title reign as being iconic. I think her win is iconic. Her match with Charlotte is one of my favourites of the year. But this didn't have the emotion or the hard-hitting elements to it that I wish it would, or like the standard of their NXT match, their last woman standing match did. It was fine. Like, there was some cool spots in there. I like the beginning where the sort of Rhea Ripley just can't take Raquel off her feet, and she is finally a match for Rhea Ripley, which led to more offense from Rhea, more trying to get all these shots in, trying to get these nasty knee strikes, and she eventually got a nasty knee strike right in the face, which looked brutal. But eventually it all just went the way I expected, with Rhea Ripley picking up the win. So I don't really know what you do with Rhea or Raquel at this point, because she's lost. So rematch maybe? I really don't know. I want to see Rhea Ripley take on Piper Niven. I think that's the way they should go. But I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't. And they have a lack of credible contenders for Rhea Ripley's title, which I think is an issue, and they need to sort that out ASAP. Absolutely ASAP. And then we had the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship as Seth Rollins defended the big gold belt against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I have thoughts on this match. Those thoughts being that this match was a little bit boring, and I do actually find Seth Rollins a little bit boring to watch. I'm not vibing entirely or at all with Seth Rollins during this title run, and I can tell you why. Because he has no character. He has no character whatsoever, and his presentation is so... His presentation is his music. That's it. That's all this version of Seth Rollins has to him. The interesting aspects of this feud were on the Shinsuke Nakamura side, with Nakamura knowing the weakness of Seth. That's the one bit of vulnerability that Seth had. And like Seth often does, I don't think he sold enough in the match, and he sometimes feels like he's wrestling at half speed. Now, was the match good? I thought this was a good match. This was fun. Nakamura finally getting his main event. But I have got to question the decision to have Seth Rollins win in the same way that he always seems to win now, with a sneaky little stomp after just a reversal and then a stomp from out of nowhere. I'd like to have seen Nakamura at least kick out the stomp. But why on earth would you give Shinsuke this massive presentation, this awesome animated visualizer in Japanese, have the Great Muta sat ringside watching this match, for Nakamura to lose? Why on earth would you do that? It made Shinsuke look so bad, like so bad. And maybe I am just biased because I'm not on board with Seth at all. I thought the match was broadly fine, a bit too long. I think they thought they were having like a New Japan match, but it didn't feel like a New Japan match in my opinion. I think it felt just a bit like a sluggish WWE main event that ended a bit too quickly with a stomp. But my God, I liked Nakamura targeting the back. I thought that was a really interesting story element that I don't think was played upon enough in the match. And yeah, Seth winning, I get this after every time Seth defends the belts, I just sort of go, oh, because I'm just done. I'm done with Seth with the belt. I want something new and I want something fresh immediately. Fun main event that I can't really tell you many spots from because it wasn't fully interesting. And Seth picked up the win with a stomp. I just don't get why you wouldn't put the belt on Shinsuke. Why would you give him all this presentation if you're just going to essentially job him out to Seth? I don't understand the logic behind that. Maybe to give Seth a credible contender, but you've just used your credible contender and you've ruined all the cool presentation that you've done for Nakamura. So yeah, I was a bit heated at the end of this match because I really wanted Nakamura to win. I don't want to see Seth with the belt. Okay main event, but it was overshadowed by 2 other matches on the card that were way, way stronger. And that's the end of the show. Overall, I really enjoyed Payback. I know that last match sort of seemed like I didn't enjoy Payback, but I did enjoy Payback, believe me. And overall, I give it a 3.5 out of 5. The opening match was a barn burner. The tag match was a barn burner. You had the main event, which was okay, and the rest of the show was okay. But those 2 matches were so damn good that I had a blast, an absolute blast. And the LA Knight stuff and Cena stuff was entertaining. So yeah, that's my thoughts. 3.5 out of 5. Let me know your thoughts on Payback down in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.